What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we're bringing to you another exciting stock here. This is not Tesla stock. This is Virgin Galactic Holdings. Yes, it looks like Tesla. It has run quite a bit, basically from its low $6.90 of Thanksgiving time, and it has basically run up 295% to this day, closing today, Friday, February 14th of 2020 at $28.68, hitting at a high of $28.79. Huge spike up. This is a short squeeze if you've ever seen it. We're going to be diving into what is going on here. Like this chart just is like, what in the world? So we basically bought in around like 1850, and that's like after the hype train happened, and we were a little scared after that, but it just kind of totally took off. Now we're up a nice chunk and change here. We're going to be jumping into some things I saw on Wall Street Bets. Again, not a best place to get your advice from, as heads up, but really great people over there though. People are saying like, what the F is going on over at Virgin Galactic. I always want to call it SpaceX because that's the stock company I always hear. So there's a gentleman or dude named Meadowin, and he basically doubled his money, or 120%, 0.88% on 100 contracts. So basically putting in like 17 and making a nice $23,000. Didn't really give too much details on this. This is the overall contract page that he showed. Again, this is going up crazy fast like Tesla, and just like this other post that I saw is this: my dad just called me about Virgin Galactic. He says he wants to know on what the F is going on with the meme lords buying Virgin Galactic. He's so confused because the company doesn't actually make anything. Like, what does the company make? The company, from my understanding, is going to be is the only company right now on the market that you can invest in space, and this is a huge frontier thanks to a lot of Elon Musk stuff and his SpaceX company on bringing that into the foreshadow of that. So that being said, on like where do we stand with Virgin Galactic here? Fundamentals aside, this is a short squeeze if you've ever seen it. We can look at it on a daily thing here. That was on a weekly chart, so this is on a daily chart. You can basically see it here from basically December, making a beautiful base down here and then just popping off and just basically just riding up the 8 exponentially moving average on the daily chart, and it's just been getting gangbusters. So this is where it's going to look really crazy, is when you go to the standard deviation. This thing has broken out multiple times out of orbit, get it, out of the third deviation line, and constantly coming back. It's not coming back to the yellow line, which is what normally happens. It's coming back to the third deviation or the second, and just constantly popping higher. And this is just shown on the amount of strength within this stock. Like, it's absolutely gangbusters. So on a daily chart, like, you can see high volumes. So I was told before, and a lot of the times, that you can really tell if there's a short squeeze if there's a lot of activity around the midday. Around the mid afternoon. So from like 11 to like 12:30, there's a lot of people getting out. You can see that here quite a lot, basically hitting the most highest volume over the past couple days. We can just back that up just a little bit more, do it on an hourly chart. You see this gap, huge gap up here on middle of the day volume. Basically, this is where it's an expiration time for options. There's going to be a lot of the brokers calling up to the hedge funds or people who are having large short positions trying to borrow against us. I'm like, hey, XYZ hedge fund, you can no longer hold this stock. We're going to have to sell it in the open market, or you have to buy it back. The interest rates on the carrying of that is just going to be getting too high, and we don't want to take the risk because we need to get rid of it. We only had 10,000 and you had half of it or whatever. They just want to get it off the books because they're worried that this would run to the moon. Because again, a stock can go from 0 to $1 million, but it can from going down, it stops at 0. So the upside is infinite and the downside is somewhat limited just to the $30. So shorting it is always very difficult to do. So that being said, like, I am super excited about this. Let's jump into the technicals though. So again, I always start with everything on a daily chart. What we're going to do here is just basically going to draw some very basic Fibonacci retracements. You see, I initially had a alert here. I wish I can show. Can I show my alerts? No. How do I show market? I always forget how to do this. My bad. All right. We'll figure it out. But I had a bunch of alerts. Like, it was like the close of yesterday, the close up here, and it just went through them, and just I got multiple alerts today. It was fantastic. So that being said, what price target do I have? We're going to edit this real fast and just do that. So my initial price target is the $32. So $30 to $33 is my initial price target. That is before earnings, and earnings is on the 25th. So that's a little less than 2 weeks away. So that's still quite a bit. So this thing can definitely run and squeeze all those shorts out into earnings. So going into earnings, since we're up quite a substantial amount, basically at this area around here, unless something just goes haywire and just starts selling off, I want to trim some coming Monday or Tuesday. And especially if it hits above 30, I definitely want to trim some. I know this is a long-term hold for some people, but this is it's honestly a trade for me, and this has been a wonderful, fantastic trade. So initially the 32 price target, and I just have this 28.75 up here, just in case when tomorrow or Monday. Is it markets open Monday? I don't think markets are open Monday. On Tuesday, when the markets open up, potentially get a nice kick up higher. And honestly, if it comes into earnings, like, I just want to lighten up into earnings, because this is their first official earnings coming up. So I don't know what they're going to say. They're definitely going to say we're losing money because they're not making anything. So there's multiple articles discussing that they have a price target of like $60. So that's my next frame up here. If it makes $60, wow, that's going to be wonderful, of course, for a lot of people that are long it. Again, it's a stock market. Anything can happen. We saw that story with Tesla, and I think a lot of people are getting FOMO, especially on this one, because they missed probably a lot of the movement in Tesla, and they're just trying to get on this so they can tell their buddies on Wall Street Bets on what's going on and how cool they are, which is, it's totally fine. Yeah, right. You know. That being said, again, I just want to sum it up. I'm looking at the 32 price target. If it comes down, it can break. If this does, and if it will break, it's going to come down pretty hard like a spaceship, because there's a lot of, you can see this, like, I believe, what day was this? The 22nd. I bet you that was a Friday as well. No, it wasn't. Let me make sure that it was the 22nd here. This was the 22nd, yeah. So this must have been a day where a lot of shorts got called up as well, to unload, but it kind of sank back down. So what I think could happen is what happened here. You can kind of see these huge gaps up. It didn't really gap up, only down here. It could potentially come back down at like $20. I could see that happening. $20 to $22. Let's just call it like $22, because this kind of broke past it wasn't as rapid, but you can kind of see here 2 or 3 days later it kind of mellowed out and just had a huge another ramp up higher. and that's when we basically got in. I really think on like 18, we got in twice, like 17.95 and like 18.50 or something like that, and then we just kind of been holding it since then. So especially on a fast mover on a stock like this, if it closes below the 8 exponential moving average, you kind of want to trim it. It's going to be very difficult. This is definitely a 100% momentum stock, and once the air is out of this balloon, it's just going to come crashing down. So that's usually the first sign of that. Not the only sign, but it's when if things kind of start drying up. It's not, these moving averages are not pointing to the stars anymore. It's kind of leveling off, kind of coming in like a normal moving average would be. Again, because this is a super strange scenario of them not really having earnings. So I'm honestly super curious on how they discuss earnings call. Like, what are they going to say? Like, oh yeah, we have 2 individuals that bought tickets this quarter. Like, I think a ticket's like $500,000 or for $250,000 going forward. But it's clearly that the company needs funding, and I'm hoping they're stepping in and selling some of their stock to basically make space travel available, or for more the tourist side of things. I honestly, I'm really waiting for Elon Musk's Starlink internet space things coming up, because that's going to be another ginormous sum of momentum stock as well, if it's anything you've seen like this before. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Guys at the Wall Street Bets, we love you. Keep up the good work over there. Do the DD, do the story time. Greatly appreciate it. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace!